Alright guys, so I stumbled across this clip from The View featuring the cackling hens and a Hollywood actress, Miss Hanoi Jane, aka Miss Jane Fonda. Now, Miss Jane Fonda here is going to say the quiet part out loud about what Democrats really want to do, and liberals and woke activists really want to do when they don't get their way, right? Which is to murder the people that disagree with them politically. And I'm not joking about that. That's actually what she said live on set at The View as the cackling hens laugh, right? They laugh and try to say, oh, it's a joke, when it seems to me that she's pretty serious about what she's saying. Yeah, she went on The View on live television in front of, I would have guessed, millions of people probably watching The View, and basically advocated for activists to murder people who they disagree with politically. Take a look.
We have experienced many decades now of having agency over our body, of being able to determine when and how many children to have. We know what that feels like. We know what that's done for our lives. We're not going back. I don't care what the laws are. We're not going back.
I think the women will rise up.
That's the activist.
That's Jane
speaking, and she probably will get a Nobel Prize.
But it's the truth.
Very soon.
It is the truth. We're not going to do it.
Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a miraculous. What did you say?
Murder.
She's kidding. Wait a second. She's just kidding.
Don't say that. That's
you don't know. They'll pick up on that and just run with it.
That's the worst.
She's just kidding.
Well, let me talk to you about. Let's move on and talk about Jane's activism, which is legendary.
Yeah, so I don't think she's joking. I don't think she's kidding, and I don't like the fact that The View and these cackling hens laughed at this suggestion for her, right? What allegedly is a joke, because just imagine if the shoe was on the other foot, okay, and you had somebody that was right-wing that went on it and jokingly suggested that people murder or activists murder people that disagree with them politically. Do you think that they would be laughing and joking? Or do you think they would be taking it serious? Right? They'd be like, no, you can't say that. Like, you can't joke about that. Like, you cannot say stuff like that on television. You can't advocate for stuff like that because it's wrong. But see, like I try to tell you guys, these are the steps of radicalization from the left. Okay, first, they accuse you of some type of bigotry, right? In this case right here, we're talking about the whole abortion conversation, right? So they say, oh, it's sexism, right? It's the patriarchy trying to control women's bodies. And then the next step is to accuse you of some type of harm, right? They say, well, you are harming them or you're causing them to harm themselves, and then they get out in the street and they start, protesting or whatever. And then if they still don't get their way, what they do is they resort to violence, right? Happens every single time, okay? That is the steps to a left-wing radical movement becoming violent, right? We've seen Roe v. Wade protesters and rioters attempt to assassinate Supreme Court justices. We've seen them harass Supreme Court justices at their homes. We've seen them attempt to bomb and vandalize pregnancy centers for women who are simply just trying to get pregnant and get some support through pregnancy.
We've also seen across the country violent attacks to pregnancy centers by similar left-wing terrorist groups, including one graffiti of a firebomb building said, "Jane was here." There have been attacks all over the country. And yet, the Department of Justice has not brought these violent criminals to justice. You contrast that. If you're a violent criminal and you attack a crisis pregnancy center, that is not a priority in the Biden Department of Justice. Contrast that to Mark Houck, who's a pro-life activist. He's a sidewalk counselor. And he had an altercation with someone who allegedly interfered with his son's personal space and threatened his son, and he pushed him. Now, in an ordinary world, pushing someone would be maybe a simple misdemeanor assault, but not under the Biden Department of Justice. If you're a pro-life activist, what can you expect? Well, in this instance, according to Mr. Houck's wife, 24 agents clad in body armor and ballistic helmets and shields and a battering ram showed up at his house pointing rifles at his family.
These people have committed acts of domestic terrorism and violence throughout this country. And for her to go on The View and to say something like that, to make that suggestion, again, The View should do a whole kind of retraction on that, right? They should do a segment on that and make it clear that, hey, we don't condone this type of language, right? We don't condone these types of jokes either, where you're joking about murdering people who disagree with you politically, because I don't think that it was a joke. It was only a joke when Joy Behar figured out, she knew in her head, okay, she can't actually say that on TV. Oh, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke. No, it's not a joke. They need to come out here and clearly clear that up and say, we don't condone that. Will they do that? Who knows, right? I doubt it, but they should. But again, this is the radical left. This is the so-called tolerant left. They're actually intolerant to anybody who disagrees with them on this issue right here of abortion. A woman's right to kill her baby is not being taken away from her. Okay? If you go to a state like New York, California, if you go to these blue states that allow it, you can do it. No big deal. Right? But if you live in a red state, the people there are going to pass laws to restrict it. Okay? It is what it is. But it's not banned. It's not banned nationwide, and I don't think it will ever be banned nationwide. Right? Period. Okay? I don't think that's going to happen. So all this fear-mongering about women losing their rights and whatever is BS, okay, in regards to this issue right here now, in regards to the issue of, biological men taking over their spaces, right? Biological men that want to be women taking over their spaces. Yeah, if you're going to be talking about some activism, or if you're going to be talking about, women losing their rights and, how you need to stand up for yourselves and fight against the patriarchy, you need to be focused on that, right? That's the issue that you actually need to be focused on. This abortion issue is ridiculous. It really is. And again, it's gotten to the point where, again, you're saying these people get so comfortable where they can just say the quiet part out loud about what they actually really think. Right? She just said what she actually really thinks out loud. That's exactly what she believes. Again, the question is, will The View issue some type of formal statement saying that we condemn that type of language, that type of violence, and that we think what she said was wrong? We'll see. I highly doubt it, but who knows? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.